Today I had one of those client tasks that sounds simple on paper, but turns into a full archaeology mission inside the WordPress. So the client has set up an AI phone answering system from Ring Central. The website contact form needed to be updated so it met SMS consent requirements. At first glance, this sounds easy. Add a checkbox, add some consent language, save the page, done. But no, this was WordPress. Folder theme, WP Bakery, custom contact form, theme specific settings, required terms fields, no obvious capture field, no clean way to verify whether the client would actually receive the consent response. So this turned into a great example of what actually happens when modern AI tools have to integrate with older business websites. Now, the client needed the contact form to support SMS compliance um, for their AI phone answering and follow-up system. That means the form needed clear SMS consent language. The important part is that the checkbox should be optional, unchecked by default, and not required to submit the form. So this matters because SMS consent is not supposed to be forced just because someone wants to contact the business. So the goal was to keep the contact form working, add SMS consent properly, make sure the client receives the messages, add spam protection, avoid breaking the old WordPress page. Simple enough until I opened everything up. Now, the site was using WP Bakery Page Builder. If you don't know what WP Bakery is, I want to show you guys. So here's WP Bakery Page Builder. I won't go into it because I don't want to show you guys anything that is sensitive to the actual project itself. Um, so anybody who has worked with WordPress long enough, you already know what this means. So rows inside columns, inside modules, inside themes, theme elements, inside mystery settings panels. The original form was not a normal contact form 7 form. It was a custom theme contact form element. It looked decent on the front end, but the back end options were limited. It had fields like name, email, phone, birth date, reason for contacting, and the terms and conditions message. At first, I thought I could use the existing terms checkbox for the SMS consent language, but then I saw the problem. That terms checkbox appeared to be required, and that creates a compliance issue because SMS opt-in should not be required. So now the tasks change from edit the form to rebuild the form without breaking the website. There were a few possible approaches to this. One was to keep the old form and just add visible consent text under it. That would look okay, but it would not guarantee the checkbox response gets submitted with the form. Option two was to use the theme's term and conditions checkbox. That would capture something, but if the checkbox is required, it is not a proper SMS opt-in. Option three was to rebuild the form with a real form plugin and control the fields properly. That was the right answer. Not the fastest looking answer, but the right one. So I rebuilt the actual form using Contact Form 7. This is Recapture 3 for Contact Form 7. I chose this is a plugin in WordPress for you guys who are more newer. I chose Contact Form 7 because it works well with the older WordPress sites and WP Bakery shortcodes. Now, the new form included the name, email, birth date, phone number, reason for contacting, optional SMS consent checkbox, submit button. For the SMS checkbox, let me navigate. I think I'm able to show you guys the plugins at least. So we'll navigate over to the plugins. And let's see. Yeah, so we're using Contact Form 7. So a required checkbox is usually an asterisk. So the checkbox did not use that. So the user can submit the form without checking it with this form. So this is what we want. I added the proper consent language. Then the privacy policy in terms of service language needed to be visible as well. Here is the part that a lot of people miss. Just because a field exists on a form does not mean the client will see it. So in Contact Form 7, you have to go into the Mail tab and add the correct form tags into the message body. So I had to make sure the email included name, email, birthday, phone number, reason for contacting, and the SMS consent status. And that had various types of different tags. Then I also updated the email template so when someone submits the form, the client can actually see the full submission, including whether SMS consent was selected. That is the difference between a form that looks done and a form that actually works. So the next issue was capture, as we just saw here with the old form had reCAPTCHA visually, but the new Contact Form 7 form did not show a CAPTCHA button in the editor. So this is normal. Modern Contact Form 7 uses reCAPTCHA integration site-wide. So I had to connect reCAPTCHA to the Contact Form 7 integrations area using Google Keys, which is where we get here. So, I did this, and I forgot to actually blur this out for my client. But I did this, and I also considered using Honeypot for Contact Form 7 because for many local business sites, Honeypot protection is simpler and avoids making users click extra boxes. But for this setup, reCAPTCHA was added and tested. Now, another thing I recommended was using Flamingo. By default, Contact Form 7 email submissions to my client, but it does not store them inside of WordPress. So that means if the email fails, goes to spam, or gets missed, there may not be a backup record. So Flamingo fixes that. It stores inbound messages inside the WordPress dashboard. So now the client can view submissions in two places: email inbox and WordPress dashboard. Flamingo inbound messages. It's dashboard, Flamingo, inbound messages. That gives them a backup record essentially. So after all of this was done, I tested the submission. I checked that the form appears on the Contact Us page. The SMS checkbox is visible. The checkbox is optional. The form is sent successfully. The client can see the submission details. The consent status appears in the email. The spam protection is active. That is the full loop: front end, back end, email delivery, compliance language, and message storage. The funny thing about this project is that the client is setting up AI phone answering, but the hard part was not the AI. The hard part was the old website infrastructure. That is the reality for a lot of small businesses. They want AI automation. They want smarter follow-up. They want call routing. They want SMS workflows, but their website is still running on old plugins, old builders, old themes, and forms nobody has touched in years. So before you can plug in a futuristic AI system, you have to clean up the old pipes. Now, I say all that to say that the reason why I'm even interfacing with this client in the first place is because I'm building them a redesigned website. But in the meantime, they wanted to just go ahead and make this change so that they can take advantage of I think this is a free offering they're offering through their phone service provider. So this is why web development is not just about making pages look good. It is making sure business systems actually connect. The form has to collect the right data. The consent has to be optional. The client has to receive the message. The submission needs a backup. The spam protection has to work. And the page still has to look right on the front end. So yes, today I had to go back in time into WordPress so a modern AI phone system could work properly. If you run a business and you are adding AI to your website, do not skip this step. Your automation is only as good as the form feeding it. Like, subscribe, and follow for more real-world breakdowns of websites, AI automation, and client fixes.